Welcome to the skybow Absence Management app. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started. From requesting absences to approving them, what's the role of HR, and how to keep your team up to date. Whether you're a team lead, an employee, or part of HR, I'm going to show you how the app helps you to stay organized, save time, and manage absences. Let's get started. As soon as you open the app the first time, it looks like this. Everything is empty, no data entries, nothing to show. That's why it's really important to start with the app setup. Here you can at first add yourself to the app administration user group. This is really important to be able to test all the functionalities we have in the app. Next step is to create the demo data to have something with which the app looks like it's used. As soon as the demo data is created, the next step is to assign HR managers. In this case, I'm going to assign myself as an HR manager. Of course, you can add various people if you want to test it with your HR team directly, or you can just leave it with yourself for the moment. If you want to, you can also change the logo in the email. Emails are sent as soon as something needs to be approved or as an information if there is a status change, something like that. But it's not absolutely necessary for the test. And you can, of course, remove the setup button from the start page if you want to, but that's also not necessary. As you can see, now we have a lot of demo data in the app and it looks used. Let me now take you on the journey to request your well-deserved holiday. So at first, let's open the form to submit an absence request. As you can see, a lot of fields already have input, so you don't necessarily need to fill out them all if you don't need to. For example, the absence type is per default holiday, but you can choose one of the list if you need to change it. You can decide if you want to have an automatic calendar entry into your Outlook calendar once the absence was approved. And the most important thing is the date when you want to be away. So in my case, it's this year's Christmas holiday. I want to be away over Christmas season. So as soon as I entered the date, the system checks if there are any public holidays in my country. So in my case, it's the 25th and the 26th of December. Which are automatically not relevant to the total days, but there is the hint to double check the total days if there's anything the system overlooks. In my case, it's correct, 5 days. I can see that there are 21 days remaining. So I have enough days to take the time off during holiday season, and I can give a remark if I want to. So I will name it Christmas holiday. That's just for myself. Now I can save it as a draft if I want to double check it a few days later, or if I'm not sure if I want to start my holiday on the 23rd or maybe on the 22nd or something like that. And I can submit the request. That's what we're going to do now. As you can see, the absence request is now on our dashboard. So here we can see all my own absence requests, and I can see a team calendar, which I can also filter by department, which at the moment makes no sense because at the moment it's just myself in the tool and only my absences. But as soon as you invite more people to test it and there are more absences in the calendar, you can filter it to the teams to only see the absences of your colleagues which are relevant to you. Let's have a look at the absence I just requested. As you can see, at the moment it's requested. So my boss got a message that there is an absence to be approved. and has now the chance to approve or decline it. The message is an email, but you can also change it to a Teams notification if you want to. As I'm also the app administrator, I can approve or decline the holiday myself. As soon as I want to decline it, I would have to say why it's not possible to be on holiday. But of course, I'm going to approve it. So let's approve the holiday. As soon as I approved it, you can see it's in another state on the progress tracker, and the person who requested the holiday, which is in this case myself, also got an email that the absence request is now approved and that they can go on their well-deserved vacation. As you maybe already noticed, there isn't only your own absence requests on the dashboard, but also your annual file. Let's also have a look at this one. In your annual files, the most important KPIs and numbers are summarized at a glance. So you can see how many days are left to go on holiday, if there are additional days which are maybe left from a year before, how many days you have used, if there is any pending approval absence days. You can see how many sick leave days you have, or how many remote working or home office days, or if there is any unpaid leave. And you can also submit your overtime. So as soon as you submit some overtime hours, they would also appear in here. I will show you later on how that works. As you can see, again, you have all your own absence requests and you have additional requests like overtime, additional days you have from the previous year, for example, if you have sick leave, your home office and remote working days, and all your annual files. So if you would work for the company for many years, you would see all your annual files in here and could also have a look at previous years if you need to. The Close Year button only can see HR managers, so as soon as the year ends, they can close the year so that no more holidays can be used or no more overtime can be compensated. All of that would be taken into the new year, into the new annual file, which the HR managers can then generate once the year was closed. So let me also show you how to submit an overtime request. It's basically the same like for the absence request. You have a form to fill in, so overtime reason. You of course also need to say how many hours you've done overtime. In my case, it's 9 hours, and I can say if I want to compensate it with a payout or by holiday. Let's leave it with holiday. I can add attachments if I have anything to prove the overtime. And again, I can save it as a draft or request the overtime. And the same is for sick leave. So if I am sick once, I can also submit those days in here. I need to say what's it about, and I need to say from when to when I was sick. I can give any remarks, and of course I need to submit a medical statement. As soon as I have everything in place, I can save it to notify my boss and the HR department about the sick leave. So let's have again a look at the annual file. As you can see, now we have an overtime request and we have the sick leave. So I have everything in place which we just requested. For all the HR managers, we created a separate HR hub. Let's also have a look at this. In this HR hub, we summarized everything which is important for HR managers, especially when there are many employees to manage at the same time for one HR manager. So, for example, there are all the absence requests to approve, all the overtime requests to be approved, and if there is anything to pay out or overtime to compensate, it's also listed in here. There are also some other functionalities. They can add new employees. They have an employee overview, which is a list of all the employees. An annual file overview, which would be a list of all the annual files of the employees which belong to the HR manager. And there is a bulk function, which is the batch closing of annual files. So once I can click this button, all the annual files of all employees which belong to myself as an HR manager are closed and new ones for the next year are opened. So I don't need to go through all the annual files of all employees to close them by the end of the year. I can do so by just one button click. Let's also have a look at an overtime request to be approved. It basically looks the same like the absence request to be approved. I again have the chance to approve or decline it. If I would decline it, I would have to add a reason for declining it, or I can approve it. As soon as I have approved it, you can see there is no overtime request to be approved, but there is overtime to be compensated by holiday. The last overview we should have a look at is the admin hub. On this page, everything is summarized what an app admin needs, so that also non-SharePoint experts could be the app admin. Let's quickly have a look at all the functionalities. We have permission and roles, so you can invite other colleagues to test the software, or as soon as you want to use it productively, you can add all the colleagues who should use the app. We have a lot of functionalities to configure the app. You can add the work hours, so how many hours an employee works a day. You can change the logo in the email, which we also had in the setup in the first step we did. You can specify the number of sick leave days allowed before a doctor's note is required. You can say when the remaining day reminder should be sent, which is an email to all the employees who have a specific number of holiday days left until the end of the year, to say that they should use it. You can have a vacation transfer reminder, which is sent to employees who transferred holidays from the previous year to the actual one, that they should use it until the end of March. You can specify how many standard annual paid vacation days you have in your company, and you can edit the absence types if needed. You can also enter the lists which are behind all the forms, so the countries the employees belongs to, the regions they live in, the departments they work in, and the public holidays of all the countries your company operates in. That's all necessary for all the automations which are behind the input forms. And we again have the functionalities of the initial setup, so you can delete all the demo data as soon as you want to use the app productively, and you can hide the instruction button from the start page if you want to. So there are still a few functionalities we didn't went through, which is, for example, the annual files overview, which only HR managers can see. You have a button for your own annual file, which is this one I just showed you. And we have an approval board where all the requests are summarized. I have to approve myself. So if I am a manager, there would be all approval requests from my team. Or if I'm an HR manager, there would be all the requests summarized, the employees which belong to my department have submitted. That's it. Now you're all set to manage absences. If you ever need help, have questions, or want to know what else is possible, our skybow team is here to help. Just get in touch for a free demo or more information anytime. Thanks for watching and happy holiday planning.